Mayor Tommy Roberts. Welcome back to the Mayor's Table. My guest this morning is Julie Baird, who is the Assistant City Manager for the City of Farmington. Welcome back, Julie.
Thank you. Good morning.
Julie, I want to revisit a topic that we've discussed previously, and that topic is the Sobering House and Joint Intervention Program. We've been in the Sobering House. It's been functional for 2 or 3 or 4 months now. And we've been in the Joint Intervention Program facility now for about a week. And we'll be having an opening house tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit more about that in detail
before
we close this segment. But before we talk about the Joint Intervention Program in some detail now that it's open, I want to go back and just have you inform our viewers about the concept that led to the structuring of the Sobering House and the Joint Intervention Program.
All right, thank you. So the concept really started a couple of years ago, where community members and various agencies, including the city, the county, the hospital, and PMS, Presbyterian Medical Services, all got together and were really discussing, how to get a handle on the street inebriation issues here in the community, and wanting to try something new. So they did do some site visits to some other areas, tried to look at best practices, but ultimately decided to try a pilot program that we called a joint intervention program, mainly because it was a joint effort of these various entities. And that pilot program looked at particularly 10 individuals who had been in and out of jail, in and out of detox, in and out of court system, in and out of the emergency room, and really between those 10 individuals had cost the agencies a combined amount of, I think, just under $500,000. And so we looked at those individuals, put them through some intensive counseling, and really wanted to know what, if we focused on those, if PMS and their counseling services through Total Behavioral Health concentrated on those 10 individuals, could they reduce the numbers of visits, the number of visits to the jail, detox, etc. And the pilot program was very successful in looking at those numbers. One thing that we had during the pilot program was access to the winter shelter, the roof, for about half the period of that pilot program. And then the other half was actually in the wintertime, and we needed to open it as a shelter. And it was obvious that a shelter was key to better success for the program. So we started looking at a building that could serve as transitional housing for the individuals that would be in the Joint Intervention Program. And about the same time these conversations were going was when Four Winds kind of was looking to do away with their detox program and go strictly into counseling. So at the same time, we realized, well, we needed some other mechanism than a place for people to go and be safe while they were sobering up. So we ended up with 2 buildings. Sometimes it gets a little confusing between the 2.
Well, and I think the point that we want to make with our viewers is that the Joint Intervention Program, which really, I think, includes the Sobering House, is essentially a replacement of the protective custody system and service that was offered by Four Winds Recovery Center. And there are a number of reasons why Four Winds decided that it no longer could be in that business, but the result of it was that we needed an alternative approach to dealing with these problems. So the Sobering House has been in operation for a number of months, and it is designed to be a place where people can be taken on a temporary basis. They can leave when they want to leave.
Yes.
They're generally there for 12 hours or less, and then they are free to leave. That is different from what the protective custody system required. It was decided, and it's based on studies that have been done, that an essential element of a successful program of this type is a residency component. And that's what we've just now completed. We've been open for about a week. We'll have an open house tomorrow. And the facility that is opened does have a number of beds that provides a residence component. In other words, it's difficult to have people involved in a recovery program when they don't have a place to stay. And what the Joint Intervention Program does is offer them a place to stay. So I want you to talk a little bit about the residency component.
So the building itself is able to house 40 individuals. We have 40 beds. It is split up between men's and women's. We have room for 30 men and 10 women. And the facility has a living room area. It has a laundry area. It has a small kitchen. It has a kind of what we would consider a light kitchen, not a commercial kitchen, because this building is right next to Total Behavioral, and they have a commercial kitchen. And so a lot of the cooking and feeding would be over in Total Behavioral. This is really just a place for them to go while those individuals are in the 6 to 12 months that the program lasts.
What is I'll call it the educational component, the counseling component of the program? I want you to talk a little bit about that.
So the program has really about 4 phases. So the first phase looks at getting them started in counseling, group counseling, individual counseling, job counseling, but also case management. A lot of these people don't have IDs. They don't have access to Medicare or health or dental visits. So they really work to get those individuals in those first 3 months connected with different agencies that can provide these services. As they move into the second phase, which is another 2 months, they refer to that phase as their productive use of time. They want the individuals to be in a job or volunteering or in school and doing something with their time. And then the third phase is 1 month, and that's where they're looking to transition on their own. In terms of the schedule, they're actually in treatment 6 days a week, so Monday through Saturday, and the program is from 7 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. They have free time from 4 in the afternoon till 10 or 11 at night, and then they need to be in Paul's Place, which is the Joint Intervention building, from 11 o'clock to 7 a.m. They must be sober to be in the building, and they do breath alcohol tests for them to each night to be there in the building.
The sobering house has been operative for a number of months. The Joint Intervention Program residency component has not been in place very long, just a week as we've mentioned before. But do we have any takeaways from the operation of the sobering facility to date?
We certainly are seeing an increase as the facility has been open longer, of people staying for longer hours. They're the full 11 hours of sobering, so those hours are increasing. We certainly have ones that are requesting to go there rather than jail. I think that when there's a question and the police officers have a judgment call, give up this, alcohol, and rather than take you to jail, are you willing to go and spend the night and sober up? So they're willing to do that, and rather than being out. Now we're heading into the winter months, so there's a whole nother component with the weather. We will be opening our roof shelter as well, but PMS has certainly been tracking individuals' interest in the Joint Intervention Program, and it's my understanding that there's a number of individuals that have been waiting for this shelter component, this housing component to be open to come and get involved with JIP and make that transition in their program.
Well, we certainly have high hopes for the program, and are excited now that the full complement of services are available to those who are in need of these services. It's an issue and a problem in our community that has been given a lot of attention over many, many years. This is a new approach to dealing with the issue, and we hope that it's an approach that proves to be successful for those who are in great need of these kinds of services. We want to thank our partners who are involved with the City of Farmington in providing this service: San Juan County, San Juan Regional Medical Center, and Presbyterian Medical Services. Without the cooperation and partnership of all of those entities, this could not be done. It's a very expensive program, but through the allocation of costs of administering the program and operating it, it can be done on a reasonably fiscally sound basis. Julie, I think we're about ready to close this segment, but if you would, just tell our viewers about the open house and what's planned there.
So the open house is tomorrow from 4 to 6. It is out at the Joint Intervention Building, which is 1615 Ojo Court, out as you're heading out the Bisti Highway. They're considering this a housewarming, and they call the place, we refer to it as the JIP, or the Joint Intervention. They're referring it to as Paul's Place, named after their former director, Paul Ehrlich.
Julie, I want to thank you for being here to update our viewers on what is happening with the Sobering House and Joint Intervention Program. Again, I think it's good news, and we'll look forward to seeing some very positive results from it. I want to thank all of you for joining us once again this morning at the Mayor's Table. We'll look forward to seeing you again next Monday.